No, it's a big weekend in Belfast on Saturday at the Odyssey Arena, right in the middle of the beautiful city. Paul McCloskey hopes to move a step closer to a rematch of Amir Khan by fighting and beating Prescott in an eliminator for the WBA Light Welterweight title. McCloskey lost to Khan earlier this year when a shaving nick was deemed too serious to continue by the pacifist referee. Anyway, Prescott, you will remember, was the man who knocked out Amir in about 70 seconds back in 2008. This fight matters, and Barry McGuigan's fighter Carl Frampton's on the bill, and Marty Rogan, one of our favourite heavyweight warriors, has pulled off a stunt or two, or three, or four, or five, or six, and next week Tyson Fury fights in Belfast. So there's a lot happening in Ireland. So for a balanced perspective, I reached out to irish-boxing.com's Leonard Gunning. He was at today's conference, and I asked him how Paul looked.
Well, Paul looks as he always looks. The man looks like he just got out of bed. He's just so calm, cool and casual. He looks like he doesn't look like he's got a big fight coming up. The way he holds his microphone, he looks like a rapper. He's so relaxed. Butter will melt in his mouth the way he goes on. So it's good. That's always good to see him. But the thing is, what you can see behind the eyes is the steely determination and the dedication that man puts into his training camps. That's never in question. So he's in great shape, and Prescott was at the conference, and he looks in great shape. Now, the thing about this fight is it could go either way, and that's what's intriguing about it. The clash of the two different styles, the elusive McCloskey and the sort of ramming jabs of Prescott.
And both desperate.
It could be an absolute stinker.
Yeah,
it could be an absolute classic.
Yeah, and both desperate to get back, not necessarily or both want to fight Khan again, obviously, but both desperate to get back into title contention, and that's a belt that you can't make, isn't it? That belt.
Well, that's it. And the thing is, the subtext to all of this fight has always been Khan. Khan's name has basically brought this fight together and sold the bill. Yep. You know, Khan's name even features on the fight poster. You know, Prescott is nicknaming himself the Conqueror, and McCloskey is desperate to avenge what he sees as a slight on his record.
Sure.
So both fighters know that if they lose this fight, they're almost in the wilderness.
Sure. So
this is an official eliminator. Well, whatever that means, who knows? But what the fight does mean is that two of the WBA top 10 and two pretty high-profile
absolutely
in Britain and Ireland are getting it on, and the winner is going to come out with a very strong claim to go on and fight maybe Maidana or Bradley, and probably not Khan, though. Yeah,
exactly, probably not Khan, but that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is it puts them right back in the mix. Now, about Carl Frampton, Barry McGuigan's fighter Carl Frampton, he was meant to be fighting a European title fight against Kiko Martinez, who loves it in Ireland. Yeah. But instead he's fighting, is it an Australian for the Commonwealth title?
Yeah, Matt Kwan.
Okay.
I love Frampton.
So do
I love everything about him, you know.
Was it you that invented his nickname of Brickfists?
I may have done. Some people don't like it, some people do.
I like it and dislike it. It's great.
He is the Jackal as well.
The Jackal, Carlos the Jackal, yeah, of course.
And, he's fighting. He's a late replacement, Mark Kwan. Mark Kwan was due to fight in a couple of weeks anyway, so
sure.
He's in shape.
That's good.
And the two of them, it was quite contrast at the press conference. There was quite a lot of, there was a frisson of animosity between McCloskey and Prescott.
Yeah.
There was some words exchanged where both of them claiming they're going to knock each other out.
Good.
And then that was contrasted with Frampton and Kwan, who showed the utmost of respect for each other.
But Leonard, you know, if Carl was in a tight situation with someone at a press conference, someone he didn't dislike, then we'd see a different Carl Frampton. We'd see the type of Carl Frampton we see in the ring, and that's a vicious fighter.
Outside of the ring, he's an absolute gentleman.
Absolutely.
I've never actually seen him lose his temper, even with people he dislikes. So he has got a cool, calm, collected composure to himself as well. But that fight, I think that could be a really good fight.
Good, I hope so.
Everyone's expecting Frampton to go in there and do a little bit of a number on him. But the last time there was such a lot of expectation on Frampton was against Turley.
Yeah.
And he didn't produce the goods to a level.
Tried too hard, didn't he?
Yeah, you know, everyone was expecting him to go in there and blow him away. Big sky audience.
Sure.
And he was a little bit disappointed, but he shouldn't get too downhearted about it.
No, he shouldn't.
Performance, and he won pretty much every round of the fight.
Yeah,
but it was a difficult and at times ugly fight.
Yeah, well, listen, that often happens. Now, let me ask you about cool, calm, and composed, because I'm hearing the press conference today was a little bit lively, where you got yourself involved with Ireland's future world heavyweight champion, Big Marty Rogan. Tell me the story, Leonard.
Oh, please.
What happened?
Martin Rogan is one of the most lovable, likeable characters on the planet. However, I just think he's been backed into it. Did you like that? However,
yeah, I did. It was beautiful.
I think he's backed himself into a corner.
So do I.
And he's coming across as a little bit defensive and almost lashing out. Now he has announced his own show.
Yeah.
Coming up in the Odyssey as well.
Yeah.
And headlining for a WBU world title, inverted commas, against a gentleman from Panama called Pineda, Luis Andres Pineda. Now, Pineda is a career cruiserweight.
Yeah.
He's coming towards the end of his career. I think he's hasn't won. He's only won one in his last 8 fights.
Sure.
And it's been built, and that's no world title.
No, it's a perfectly good. It would be a perfectly good undercard heavyweight fight, no problem at all. But as soon as you stick baubles like the WBU, of course, serve Ricky Hatton well for all those years. We sort of don't need it, do we? Really?
This isn't even the same WBU.
Oh no, it's a different one.
WBU. So there's a lot of controversy over that. But we find that that'll sort itself out. Everybody wanted to see Rogie in there with Tyson Fury.
So why didn't that happen, Leonard? Let me ask you. I mean, I've been told different reasons. You tell me why you think. Keep it quick because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Tell me why Rogie isn't fighting Fury in front of whatever it is at the King's Hall next week, live on terrestrial TV, Channel 5. Tell me why that fight didn't happen.
Rogie says it's because he hasn't got enough time.
Yep.
My belief is that it's just too much of a risk for him in his own hometown to lose to a new, fresh, almost interloper on his patch, and I don't think he wanted to go out like that.
Yeah.
I think he wants to go out. I think he does like to do things on his own terms.
Yeah.
He is his own man. There's no persuading Rogie. You can't tell Rogie what Rogie
No, of course not.
He wants to do.
No.
And I think he got a little bit of his back up when people were saying you should do this, you should do that. So and then he sort of says, no, I'll go away and do my own thing. Yeah. Which is
what Rogie does. Now listen, I've got to thank you, Leonard. The Leonard's from Irish-boxing.com. It's one of the, and people know that I only use sites that I like, and it's one of the best sites out there. Leonard, thanks for giving us a bit of a tipping us off about what's coming up this weekend over at the Odyssey. And it's on Sky, live on Sky. It'll be a fantastic night, and we might have to speak again about Marty Rogie.
Yeah, no problem, anytime.
Leonard, thanks very much for your time.
Take it easy.
Leonard Gunn in there. Keep those emails coming.